welcome back, guys. Power Book 2 finally made its triumphant return Sunday, and it was full of surprises to say the least. Though no major deaths occurred, there were plenty of seeds planted as we charged through the latter 5. In today's video, we'll be breaking down the top 10 WTF moments from 106 and offer analysis and predictions throughout. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, the nature of man. The lovely Cara Dad Milgram leads a discussion on the fundamental nature of man as argued by John Locke and Thomas Hobbes. The debate derives from the Leviathan versus Second Treatise of Government portion of Tariq's Canonical Studies book list and lines up with where we are episode-wise. Locke believed humans were naturally good and that government's job was to protect their individual liberties. However, Hobbes believed that man was naturally wicked and that government's job was to keep law and order. The discourse really resonated with Tariq, who is still struggling with the question post-murdering the ghost man. It explains why he didn't have a ready-made response to Carrie's inquiry on whether people were fundamentally good or bad. Also, the question has relevance to the power of old, as Ghost himself struggled with the dynamic heavily over the past 6 seasons. Many of his decisions blurred and ambiguous in nature. WTF moment number 9, jurors in crime. Sachs and McLean conducted jury selection before the judge ahead of Tasha's trial. Their primary objective is to compile a sympathetic group that would likely exonerate Tasha and leave Tariq exposed, continuing their insidious alliance from 105. The audience, jurors, and even the judge herself are left surprised by the accommodating process between the legal rivals. WTF moment number 8, guess who's Bazak? 2-Bit, Tommy's former Primera and series fan favorite, made his rumored return in 106. Sachs and McLean both appealed to him to testify at Tasha's trial, something 2-Bit was vehemently against. However, McLean added the caveat of Blanca Rodriguez, the now former cop, to outline his testimony so that he wouldn't perjure himself or snitch, and still regain his freedom. We later see 2 take the stand and thrive against Sachs's cross-examination attempts. He plays an integral role in Tasha's defense and may indeed cause the first rupture in Sachs and McLean's alliance. The last we see of him is a walk out of prison with full immunity and a shiny JSP watch to match. WTF moment number 7, that fuck nigga Malcolm. Tariq and Lauren have a continuation of their previous classroom discussion in her dorm room. Things were just heating up when Malcolm, that bozo nigga from 104, interrupted them. He storms in upset with Lauren over her social media image and speaks to her in a paternal, condescending tone. Tariq intervenes, sparking more suspicion in the simpish lover. He corrects dude over his name and mackishly bids his future baby mama adieu. I'll be so glad when he finally takes Lauren from Malcolm. I really don't like that guy. WTF moment number 6, joyriding with Kane. Braden discovered the missing product that Trey stole back in 105 and pressed his brother for it back. In the midst of their familial scuffle, an outraged Kane interrupts them and pulls a gun on the privileged pair. Braden attempts to ease the tension and even name drops the elder Tejada. However, Kane kidnaps the Westons and drops them off in unfamiliar territory. In hindsight, thank God Braden pressed Tariq over the identities of their suppliers. Imagine if the same scenario took place with Braden ignorant to Kane and his role in their business. He wouldn't have moved as wisely and probably would have gotten killed. That blood would have been on Tariq's hands for keeping his partner out of the loop. WTF moment number 5, Code Red. Tariq enters his dorm only to find Riley snooping through his things. Riley tries to downplay the endeavor, but Tariq is onto her scandalous ways. She claimed to be meeting Braden, and upon calling him, Reek noticed the falling chess pieces, a callback to their coded system from 105 in the event that the Tejadas were on the scene. They later face off in a chess match turned interrogation, with their moves correlating with their inquiries and responses. It's a very nice touch by the show's handlers and raised the stakes for the oppositional pair. WTF moment number 4, the corner. Kane drops the Westons off on different blocks in Queens and demands them to sell product to make up for the loss caused by Trace. Braden excels at the impromptu scared straight experiment, making new customers in the endeavor. But Trace was literally a fish out of water, nearly getting robbed and killed for his half. He did catch a nice ass whooping for good measure though. Also, it was dope watching Braden hustle the old Saint Brick himself. WTF moment number 3, Ramirez and Report. Ramirez returns following his absence in 105. He pulls Kane over and G-checks him for moving recklessly with the Westons and the potential blowback such a move could have against Monet. Kane rebuffs the road cop, boldly declaring that he works for him. However, Ramirez reminds him that it's Lorenzo running the show and that they're all players in his game, something that Kane has drastically lost sight of. WTF moment number 2, the hand that feeds. Kane and Monet have a heated argument upon Kane's return from the block. He doubles down on his mounting disrespect towards his mother, growing weary of her control over his every maneuver. When Diana tries to intervene, Monet moves in to protect her, only to be struck by her eldest son, a cardinal sin. Kane attempts to make up for the unforgivable act by outstretching his hands, only to have it slapped away by Monet, which may as well be the kiss of death. This will serve as a pivotal moment in Kane's fate, something I'll be addressing in full sooner than later. And WTF moment number 1, the cradle meets the rock. Kane visits his father and stresses Monet's faults and refusal to listen. The patriarch immediately checks his son's misguided perspective and reconfirms Ramirez's assertion from the earlier stop. Lorenzo runs the show. He strongly adds that Kane should fall back, know his role, and learn from Monet. Upon exiting, Kane is ambushed by a group of guards at his father's behest. Lorenzo then approaches and commands an injured Kane to never place hands on his wife again. I thought such a word choice was interesting, because why not say, "Don't you ever put your hands on your mother again," as opposed to "my wife"? Are the writers insinuating that Kane may not be Monet's biological son? I'll dig into this theory more in my upcoming Kane analysis. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. What did y'all make of Kane's unofficial severance from Monet? Keep in mind, Monet highlighted the goodness of Diana and Drew, in contrast to Kane, and it played perfectly into the theme of the episode. Because if Drew and Diana are good, then Kane must be opposite, given that he wasn't identified under the former. I'll be doing a video on his fate shortly, like I've said, as there's much to discuss here. Speaking of goodness, where do you think Tariq falls on the morality spectrum 6 episodes in? He has certainly done some reprehensible things, but is he naturally evil? Similar to how Courtney Kemp once deemed Dre in Power 611? I think the answer to such a weighted question will define Tariq's character this season, and we'll certainly have that answer by the finale. Hopefully, he will too. It may not seem like it on the surface, but Diana's well on her way to becoming Diana St. Patrick. Notice the way she handled Tariq in their confrontation. It was very reminiscent of the many bouts Ghost and Tasha had throughout the years. She even had Tasha's mannerisms down to a science. It's going to be interesting to see how their relationship develops. And lastly, Blanca Rodriguez did return, answering a question I posed in a previous video. No sign of Tamika yet, however. We'll see if that remains as we move into the final 4. Thank you for watching today's video. As always, if you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power Ghost fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.